It is Monday, February 10th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Thanks for joining us on the show, and I say us, I should say me. Thanks for joining me on the show. Hope you got a chance to check out some of the racing action this weekend. A lot of good stuff going on. Pay-per-view killed it this weekend. Flow Racing, Dirt Vision, a lot of stuff to watch and to check out. I know I had multiple monitors going, checking out the USAC Midgets, Lucas Oil, DIRTRACKR Nationals on Dirt Vision. So lots of great stuff. Hope you got a chance to watch. If you didn't, let's jump right in. We'll start recap with the Lucas Oil late models Friday night at East Bay. Brandon Shepard, he led the first 8 laps from second. Kyle Bronson took the lead after a restart from Shepard. Bronson and Shepard battled through a lot of that race. Then Mason Ziegler quietly sneaks up from his 7th starting position. He challenged Bronson for the lead. They battled over the last 3 laps. Ziegler comes out on top. They were throwing sliders. A lot of fun stuff there. Mason Ziegler wins over Kyle Bronson, Brandon Shepard, Tyler Erb, Jonathan Davenport, your top 5. The top lane of that racetrack got super rough at the end of that show. You saw the guys kind of bouncing around all over the place there trying to hang onto their race cars. And you've seen that here between East Bay, between Volusia, these racetracks, we've had a lot of races over consecutive nights. Track conditions very different from night to night, and it has to be difficult for the drivers to be able to keep up with that, but it shows you just how good some of these guys are. Even with the conditions different every single night, you've seen a lot of the same names up front between East Bay and between Volusia. So kudos to those guys who were able to make those adjustments. Saturday night at East Bay, Devin Moran, Shane Clanton, they swapped the lead over the first 37 laps. Good to see Shane Clanton running up front. He's going to run the full Lucas schedule this year. But Brandon Shepard, he drove up from that 11th starting position. He took the lead on lap 38. He's been fast all week. The track by the end of that feature had slowed way down. You saw Devin Moran kind of roll in the bottom there. Shepard was able to take the lead on the top. He got a heck of a run off the cushion there and got by Moran. Brandon Shepard will go on to win over Devin Moran, Tyler Erb, Brian Shirley, Shane Clanton were your top 5. Sunday night, the series moved from East Bay over to Alltech Raceway, their first appearance there ever. Jonathan Davenport got by early leader Devin Moran on lap 20 and drove away to win over Mike Marlar and Brandon Shepard. Devin Moran, he faded to 6th. Shane Clanton was 4th, and Jimmy Owens in a backup car drove from 24th to finish 5th. He had to take a provisional on Sunday night. Leaving Florida-Georgia Speed Weeks now, Brandon Shepard leads the point standings over Tim McCready, Devin Moran, Jonathan Davenport, and Tyler Erb. You're going to see this as a little bit of a theme here as we go through the show and we talk about some of these other series. But the Lucas Oil late models are back in action on Friday, March 20th at Atomic Speedway. A lot of series now are going to take some weeks off here before they get back going again as it warms up into the springtime. Another late model show this weekend up at Screven for the Winter Freeze. Brandon Overton, he sweeps the weekend. He grabbed north of $30,000 for the 2 unsanctioned shows. Ross Bales was 2nd and Chris Ferguson 3rd on the first night, with Ross Bales 2nd and Michael Page 3rd on the second night. Moving over to DIRTRACKR UMP modified action Friday at Volusia. That's the typical night of 4 features for the modifieds. They split all the cars on the property into 4 features. All get to race for Gator trophies, kind of racing against the people you've been racing against all week. You see a lot of emotion from the guys that get a chance to win these races because some of these guys don't often get a chance to race up front in some of these events. Kurt Spalding, Jason Bolio, Christian Thomas, and David Rudeman won those 4 races. Moving into Saturday and Sunday, they then take the UMP Modifieds and they split everybody into 2 groups, half run Saturday, half run Sunday as qualifying nights for the $5,000 to win Big Gator Championship Monday night. Saturday's first split field night was dominated by Nick Hoffman. He's been good down there the past couple of years and no different this year. He won the feature from the pole over Jason Hughes and Brian Ruhlman. Sunday, Kyle Strickler won the Big Gator Championship qualifier basically unchallenged over Tyler Nicely and Justin Allgaier. Shout out to Mike McKinney for his 27th to 6th run in that feature event. The UMP mods conclude their time at DIRTRACKR Nationals with the Big Gator Championship tonight, Monday at Volusia. Like I said, $5,000 to win. Friday night, Bubba Raceway Park, the USAC National Midgets in action for their season opener. The Winter Dirt Games, Jerry Coons Jr. leads early from 2nd. Buddy Kofoid ended up taking the lead on lap 11. He was fast, but Tanner Thorson drove from 5th to take the lead on lap 15, and he held on to win over Chris Wyndham, Buddy Kofoid, Tyler Courtney, and Cannon McIntosh. That was your top 5. Saturday night, Cannon McIntosh, as you just heard me say his name, he took the lead early, but on lap 4, here comes Tanner Thorson again. He came up from his 6th starting position position to take the lead. He was driving away in this feature. Looked like it was all but said and done, but he blew up on lap 24. That handed the lead to Chris Windham. Windham would win over Tyler Courtney, Andrew Laser, Kevin Thomas Jr., and Cannon McIntosh. That is Windham's first win with his new Tucker Boat Motorsports team. He leaves Florida with the points lead over Tyler Courtney and Kevin Thomas Jr. The Midgets don't race again until March 7th, the indoor race in DuQuoin, Illinois. Friday night was the season opener for the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. We've seen the All-Stars in action at DIRTRACKR Nationals on Wednesday and Thursday, like we talked about last week. Friday obviously opened the World of Outlaws Sprint Car season. Logan Schuchart, Donnie Schatz, they swapped the lead early with Logan pulling away on lap 7 to take control. But working through traffic late in that race, here comes Donnie, runs Schuchart down and is able to get by him on the high side. He takes the lead with only 4 laps left. He would win over Logan Schuchart and Brad Sweet. Saturday night, Ian Madsen, another driver who's been really good down at Volusia since the sprint cars showed up there. He leads the first 7 laps from the pole. Brad Sweet rolling the bottom, though. He gets by. And Ian trying to work back on that high side. You kind of see that sometimes guys will get that run on that top side. And he got a run off of 2 and tried to pass Sweet down the backstretch, but he ended up climbing Sweet's right rear, getting into the fence. Pretty spectacular crash. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, go check that on the Outlaw social channels. Ian walked away, which is great to hear. He later tweeted, "For the record, I take responsibility for the crash tonight. World of Outlaws wins are extremely hard to come by, and you can't give an inch when racing for the win. That being said, I made a misjudgment, which cost my team a car and a chance for the win." You don't often see guys own up to mistakes like that, but cool to see him do that. I think that guy is up for a lot of success this year. Him and Tyler Swank have started out the year really fast, and I don't see any reason why that won't continue. Brad Sweet would go on to lead the rest of the way to grab his first Outlaw win of the season, his second win of the year so far with that All-Star win earlier in the week at Volusia. James McFadden ran him down late in traffic, but he got into the outside wall, basically killed his momentum. He was able to hold on to second with Darren Pittman third. Sunday at Volusia, Logan Schuchart coming back for a little bit of redemption. He grabbed the lead early, was able to hold off charges from Darren Pittman and Corey Eliason. He grabs his first series win of the year. Heartbreak for Corey Eliason late, though. He blew up on that white flag lap after challenging for the lead. That's what they say. Those engines run really good right before they're about to blow up. But he... Tough night for him. Shame for him to see him lose that engine. Darren Pittman finished 6th. Brad Sweet was 3rd. This allowed Brad Sweet to win the sprint car portion of the DIRTRACKR Nationals. He grabs the Big Gator Trophy. He was on the podium every single night at Volusia. He had 2 wins and never was worse than 3rd all week. Great start for the season for him. He leaves Volusia as the points leader by 2 over Logan Schuchart. Darren Pittman is 3rd. Donnie Schatz 4th. And Carson Macedo is 5th. If these guys are going to beat Brad this year, it's incredible what they're going to have to be able to do. Over the course of these nights, Brad was so consistent, so fast every single night. Donnie did get a win, but just not quite as good as Brad. Obviously, a lot of racing to do this year. We're very early on, but Brad's showing that form that took him to a championship last year early in this season, and I think these guys might be in trouble if they're not able to catch back up. The sprint cars are back in action on Friday, March 13th at the Cotton Bowl Speedway in Texas. Something I didn't get a chance to talk about that I don't know if this news came out before we had a show or not, but the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series has changed the format a little bit for this season. Nothing too big, but they want to kind of fix some of the issues that they saw with the LCS and the C-Main and the D-Main and the way those races were lined up. In the past, those races were lined up by your qualifying time. Now they're going to be lined up by your heat race finish. So if you have a bad qualifying run and you're able to move up in a heat race but not transfer, you'll be able to kind of use that to your advantage in some of those other mains and help. And so basically, you're not going to be re-penalized for any issues you had early on in the night. The 6 heat race program has been eliminated. That was the 49 and above format. So any races where 49 or more cars showed up, they ran 6 heat races. Now they're going to run 4 heat races and a single dash. They're going to run basically the top 20 in time will line up the heat races. Flights 1 and 2, heat races 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then any cars qualifying 21st or above will go to a non-qualifier race. Top 4 of the non-qualifier transfer to the back of the subsequent heat races, first to number 1, second to number 2, etc. And then the rest transfer to the back of the C feature behind heat cars in the non-qualifier position. So just a couple of small changes, but like I said, should help out with some of those issues with guys that have maybe rough qualifying nights, and so they're not getting penalized again when they get into those mains, and hopefully be able to move up a little bit easier. Tonight, like I said, is Monday. The late models move in today at Volusia. Monday and Tuesday are Dirt Car late model nights. with Wednesday through Saturday being the World of Outlaws late model nights. You'll see the Bloomquist cars come back in, or you'll see the Bloomquist cars come in. They haven't been running so far this week, but you'll see a lot of those cars that have been running at East Bay and at Alltech for some of the Lucas races will come over to Volusia as well. The Super Dirt Car Series comes into Volusia on Tuesday after the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds finish up their week tonight. Let's get a quick check of the pay-per-view schedule while I'm here. Volusia Speedway Park, like I said, Dirt Car Nationals, Dirt Car Late Models, and Dirt Car UMP Modifieds are live on Dirt Vision tonight. And Flow Racing has the All-Star Circuit of Champions at East Bay. They will be at East Bay tonight and tomorrow night, I believe. I made a couple of updates to the analytics section of DIRTRACKR. I went ahead and added the first 3 Outlaw races of the season. I'm going to keep kind of reworking those pages. Obviously, right now it's all kind of jumbled together, 2019 races and 2020. I'm going to split those out so you'll be able to easily find results from years, and then I'm going to go back and, like I said, start backfilling other races. So adding in the ability to filter by year will make those results a little bit easier to find. So look for that here in the next couple of days as I get a chance to do that. Let me get my notes pulled back up here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. Obviously, a lot of racing still to come. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hope you got to watch some of those races. If not, go back and check out some of the highlights on some of the stuff you've missed. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review, and tell your friends about me. You can watch the show on YouTube and Facebook. If you haven't done that, check that out so far. Let me know what you think. You can follow along with DIRTRACKR, facebook.com/DIRTRACKR. You can see us at DIRTRACKR on Twitter, or you can check out the website, news, podcasts. I got all the recent point standings up there, besides the tracks and all the information you can find out about the podcast, DIRTRACKR.com. That's DIRTRACKR.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler. Don't forget to sign up for that weekly newsletter. I'll get the first one of those out very soon. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in on DIRTRACKR Daily.